thing that's interesting is in a long-term relationship, like we talked about, as lust diminishes over time, women have a harder time with that than men. So everyone will say, yeah, over time, there's less lust than there used to be. But men are still like, but I love my wife, I want to have sex. They still say that. Women will say, yeah, I love my husband, but I'm not so interested anymore. So women have a harder time with that. And I think maybe, I don't know, maybe it's because we have more of those inhibition factors. And so less lust, but all these other things kind of make a difficult kind of recipe for us to get through. But we have to.
Mm-hmm.
If what we value is this level of connection with a partner. But what often happens is women feel like they've lost their interest. The lust factor went down, and then they either don't want to have sex, or they maybe get amped up by another partner, so they leave the marriage. Women are more likely to end a marriage than men in educated populations by a significant amount.
I've heard that before. So have you got a sense of why that is? I mean, I've got a sense of what it might be, but you will probably have a more educated answer to that than mine.
When I look at it through the lens of being a sex therapist, I think it's exactly what we're talking about, that we want to have an exciting sex life through our lifetime, and we know we deserve it. And, we're sort of taught to create that, but it's harder for women to create that in long-term relationships than it is for men in general.
Whilst in a fleeting relationship, it's right there, like ready now.
Right.
Ready-made, ready packaged with a bow on the box.
Exactly.
Okay.
So as soon as she leaves her relationship or has an affair or starts dating, her sex drive's back because she's back in a new relationship. It's another back into that short-term relationship. And remember when I said that the differences between male and female sexuality are only evident in long-term relationships. So as soon as she gets her divorce or starts having an affair with someone at the office or whatever it is she's doing, she's going to feel back in her vital sexual self. And that's fabulous. This isn't at all a message not to have that. But what I think is important for women to get is that when they're with this partner for a period of time, they're going to go back to the same dynamic that they're feeling that they left a relationship for before. As soon as that short-term relationship becomes long-term, all that same dynamic, that same evolutionary stuff that impacts women will impact again. So I think we just need to be aware of that and decide based on that what's important for us, each of us individually.
So it's essentially, it's not the partner that is robbing her of that sexual vitality, it's the biology.
It is. And, Mother Nature was not interested in us having long-term relationships. She was not. That was not her motivation.
Well, the job was done within several years, right?
Right. That's right. Exactly.
Okay. So we know that women tend to leave the partners more in pursuit of, let's call it that sort of passionate hot sex. But we also know that it's actually men that have got the higher need for the novelty. Mm-hmm. So what's happening then for men in the relationships? Do they get that novelty of porn? Mm-hmm. Do they just stay miserable forever? Or do they go and look for that novelty on the side as well? How does it work for men?
So all of that plays out, for some guys. But I think it's more often the case that men can get their novelty in their minds with their porn, whatever else, and are than them cheating. At this point, men and women cheat at the same rate. Not entirely, but for the most part. Men cheat more online, but I think men are online a little more than women. Like men do a little bit more of their life online. And so that maybe as women engage more and more online, we'll see that as a difference as well. But for the most part, in real life, the numbers are the same in terms of infidelity.